my most memorable moment that I still get talked about to this day was the 6 OT. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh man, it's people was asking me that last week. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's the first thing when they see me, they like, man, I remember that 7 OT, six. Like they naming all type of OTs. Like, look, man, 6 OTs. All right, tell me you didn't watch it by saying that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Welcome back to the NIL Podcast. I'm your host, Jermaine Dixon, here with my brother, LeVance Fields, Gary McGee. This is the podcast where legends share their truth. Today, we got a certified Big East bucket getter, a dude who played with fire in his eyes and ice in his veins. A lot of dudes said that they live for the moment. This brother definitely lived in it. From Bay City to Syracuse, he put the orange on his back. He left his mark in college basketball history, iconic moments in the Garden, to a pro career overseas, and now he's using his platform to give back to the next generation with his ED23 Foundation, one of the toughest hoopers to ever do it. On the NIL Podcast today, we got the one and only Eric Devendorf.
Man, I appreciate y'all, man. I know we had some battles with Pittsburgh, man. Look, I tell everybody, they asked me, what's the hardest place to go play? I said, man, if you ain't playing the zoo, I mean, this is the zoo back then. I don't know about what they got going on right now at the zoo, but when I played at the zoo, it was different, man. I remember I was coming off, I got in trouble or whatever, and then the minute I walk out on the court, the whole crowd saying old girl name. I'm like, oh man, it's wild out here. But no, man, I enjoyed the battles, man. It just every time that Syracuse Pitt got together, it was like, you know what I mean? It was it was a fist fight, man. And like you said, that was really the whole Big East. But y'all in particular, man, Pittsburgh, you guys were just tough battle. I mean, we talk shit. That's just how it was. But man, I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you coming on. Before we definitely gonna get into all them battles, but I wanted to ask you, when did you start your foundation?
Yeah, so I was always doing stuff in the community, whether it be back home in Michigan, like we did when, I don't know if y'all remember when Flint had the water crisis. So I'm like 30 minutes from Flint. All, Bay City, Saginaw, Flint. Everybody played in that area, everybody kind of families. We it started there. We raised like $10,000-$15,000 to try to help the water crisis there back home. And then I just, brought it back to Syracuse with, shoe drives, coat drives, turkey drives back to school. We do a bunch of different events, golf, women's events. And we just recently had like a toy drive where we gave away gifts to a whole elementary school out here on the west side. So we actually started the foundation with where I got the 501(c)(3) 3 years ago. So it was 3 years in August that we were certified. But we've been doing stuff just on our own. We just wanted to get the foundation going because now you got so many different options you could have, whether it's grants or, I mean, it just makes it more official, and then people want to be involved when it's like that.
That's very commendable. Great to hear. Just starting on your journey, what was the age where you started to pick up a basketball?
Man, I'm 7 years old. You know what I mean? And my dad, he put the ball in my hand. And from since then, I never looked back. I remember, like, I'm from a small city, so Bay City's small. You know what I mean? People, they see Michigan, they like, oh, you from Detroit? How you act? No, I'm not. I lived in Detroit for a little bit, but I'm not from Detroit. Detroit is an hour and 20 minutes from Bay City. Bay City is 25,000-30,000 people. So it was a little city. Nobody really came out of there, athlete wise, especially basketball. We didn't have any Division I players. Everybody was in Saginaw or Flint. They had like the Jason Richardsons, Calvin Torberts. I don't know if those were like when I was growing up, but it was a hotbed, Saginaw, Flint, Detroit, super talent. So I was kind of the first one to come out of Bay City. But 7 years old, man, I was before school, during lunch, after school, in the wintertime. I mean, y'all know the wintertime is like in Cuse. It's the same thing in Michigan. I was chipping the ice, shoveling the snow. So I was lucky. I fell in love with it early at, 7 years old. And then I just did it every single day. And that's rare, man, because a lot of kids, especially young, they just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Especially nowadays, these kids, they totally different. But I was lucky enough to find my passion early, and I just stuck with it.
When you know you really had something back? I got something here.
And again, early, man. Like I was, you know how we had the little Saturday leagues or whatever. You know what I mean? When you 4th, 5th grade, I was getting like 60, 70. You know what I mean? These other kids ain't even know how to dribble yet. They was just, I'm going left hand, right hand at like, third, fourth grade. These other kids just like, they trying to catch the ball still. You know what I'm saying? So I was just head and shoulders above because I did it every day. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm from a little city, so like I would get teased and all that. People didn't understand. They're like, "Why you got carrying that ball everywhere you go?" You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you want to hang out? I was just, I was lucky enough to I had a good support system around me. I didn't listen to all that, and but yeah, early on, man, I was always in the gym. At lunchtime, I was the only one outside shooting. You know what I mean? Everybody else was like on the playground playing tag or whatever it is. But second grade, I had that ball, under my arm, and I was hooping. So. Yeah, young man. I was killing at a young age.
Your only sibling, only child.
I got two sisters, so I'm the middle. I got one older and one younger sister.
Okay, and did they hoop?
Nah, man. They just had to hear. They had to hear about. Hey, are you Eric's Eric's sister, or is Eric your brother? That's all they heard. And still to this day, they like, hey, is Eric Devendorf your brother? You know what I'm saying? We come from a small community, like I said, so it's. I was able to stand out with basketball, but Syracuse, when they come to Syracuse, they're like, Devendorf Eric must be a brother. So they get tired of that, man. I think they did swimming, soccer and all that, but yeah, I guess I overshadowed them growing up a little bit with the hoop stuff, but they all good with it, man. They had some pretty cool experiences going to watch me and all that.
So it's funny, me, you, and Levance, all three of us are the 05 class, right? I've never seen you coming up. I knew you was McDonald's, but I didn't see, and I couldn't find it. Who did you play AAU with?
So I played with the Hurricanes, the Michigan Hurricanes. So it was Mustangs, and that was kind of the main one. But then like Hurricanes kind of branched off and did their own thing, and it was mostly all guys from Detroit, Flint area. We had a couple from Saginaw, but I was with the Hurricanes. It was Adidas at first, then we went to Reebok. So I ended up playing on the Adidas Reebok circuit, which was a great circuit back then. You know what I mean? That was like, I don't know if you guys remember the ABCD. Yeah, like that. I played, so I went there 2 years, and that the ABCD, Nike, those are like, regardless of class, that's the top 150 kids in the country, regardless of freshman, senior, it don't even matter. You know what I mean? So my first year, I was there with the last class that was able to go out of high school. So all 8 of them was at the ABC. So like Josh Smith, Garrett Smith, Sebastian, Sean Livingston, Robert Swift. I forget who else. Andre Black. Who again? Dwight was there. Yeah, all of them, man. So it was like that ABCD camp was wild. You know what I mean? And then the next one I went to, it was like OJ and Bill Walker and Greg Oden. You know what I'm saying? Daquan Cook. So it was. I mean, that circuit has some fire on it for sure.
So for you, like you said,
go ahead.
Oh yeah, for you, like you said, in your area coming up in high school, so you stayed there for 3 years to play high school basketball, correct?
Yeah, I was at Bay City Central for 3 years. Yeah.
Oh, how was the competition for you? Is that part of the reason why you decided to move on to go to Oak Hill for your last year, or you just knew you were bigger than probably playing there still?
I mean, it ended up being like that. But so the conference that I played in was called the Saginaw Valley League. So we weren't really ever good. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my first year is coming. That was the first years we had any winning seasons. But like I said, we played against Flint, Saginaw. So really, it was probably the best conference in the state. And people argue with that and say Detroit Public School, and obviously, yeah, they were. So we were like 1-2 or 2-1. It'll flip, you know what I mean? So Saginaw Arthur Hill at the time, #1 team in the state. You know what I mean? Flint, the top 10. There was like 4 Flint teams, a couple Saginaw teams, Saginaw High. So it was some good competition. My freshman year, I ended up being on JV. Like my first 4 games, I averaged like 49. My first 4 games, and then they was like, "Boo, all right, bet. Well, that's enough." You know what I mean? We'll get you up on varsity. And I remember my first varsity game, I hit the game-winning shot. You know what I mean? Like right off top, I was kind of, I was confident in what I was doing. And my 3 years, I was all state, all conference every year. And then yeah, my last year was kind of more so. I mean, I guess you could say I went for my grades, but at the time, I was at Bob Gibbons playing in the summer. Coach Smith and the whole Oak Hill staff was there, so they watched me. My coach had reached out to him a while ago, just like, "Hey, we're thinking about going to Oak Hill." Back then, you had to call them. It wasn't like they had to be like, "All right, yeah, you good, you could come," because that Oak Hill back then, they was like, "Come on, man," they could get whoever they wanted. You know what I mean? So they came and watched. And they were like, "Yep, bet. We want you to come next year." So I went there, and that was when I played with like Ty Lawson, KD, Jamont Gordon, AC Rivers, Amba Fall, David Palmer. So we had like 8, 9 Division I
Dang.
guys.
That's
That
bad.
was the first time I seen. So like back then when we was growing up, it was still like a big man was a big man. You know what I'm saying? So you was still kind of like you could throw it down low, but if you 6'10", 6'10", 6'11", you probably getting it there. You're not really going out on the perimeter. First time I step into the gym, I see this motherfucker KD. You know what I mean? He's 6'11", 6'6", whatever he is, doing the same shit I was doing, handling it, shooting it. So I'm like, my mind is like, yo, I never seen this in my life. Like this was like he was before all this was happening. You know what I mean? So and then you got Ty Lawson, who was just explosive, athletic. Like he was dominant at that level. You know what I mean? And obviously at the next, and then play for the Nuggets for a while. But that experience, that whole year, unbelievable, man. It prepared me for Syracuse. Like when I got to Syracuse, I was like, man, come on, man. Like some of these guys on my high school team was better than y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I was already ready for that stage. So I'm glad I made that move. That year at Oak Hill, that helped me a lot, man.
What other schools was you looking at besides Syracuse? Like, what was your finalists?
Man, so it's crazy. I committed to Michigan State my sophomore year. So Michigan, back then it was like, if you the best in the state, you staying. You going to Michigan. Michigan State was always top 10. You know what I mean? Top Izzo. So Michigan State had those offers, and at the time, my class in Michigan we had a cold class. It was myself, Chris Douglas Roberts. I don't know if you remember. You remember Chris Doug? Chris Doug was, man. I don't know if people forget how good he was, man. He was unbelievable. Like 6'5" point guard. He had all that. Then we had Wilson Chandler, Jabari Curry, who ended up, they all played in the Big East at DePaul. So yeah, we had an unbelievable class. So I committed to Michigan State early. And the reason I decommitted is because I went to the game in 2003 when Syracuse was played at Breslin Center at Michigan State. This is my first time even seeing Cuse play. If I'm gonna tell you this: we in Michigan, you see in Michigan State.
You got
not
Big
seeing
Ten.
any. Yeah, you're not seeing exactly Big Ten. You're not seeing the New York. Big East pit. We're not seeing none of that, so I didn't really have that feel of how that play was, you know what I'm saying? But Michigan State was more methodical, half court. They're going to run through their sets, execute. That wasn't really my game. Like, could I do it? Yeah, but I want to get up and down. I want to play like read and react. So when I went to the game and I see in Syracuse, G-Mac, Mello, Hack, all them, I was like, damn, my AAU coach at the time was with me. I was like, man, we got to call Syracuse. Like I want to call Syracuse and see what's up. So we called them. My coach called them, and that next week, Coach Boeheim and at the time Troy Weaver, who is now, I think, I don't know if he's in New Orleans or what, but they flew down. Him and Boeheim flew down to one of my AAU practices at Detroit Denby, and after the practice, they offered me a scholarship right there. So I never would have, went to Cuse if I didn't go to that Michigan State game. But I had like Michigan. My top 5 was Michigan State, Florida, Louisville, North Carolina, and then Cuse snuck in there. And then Michigan was like outside. They was the 6th. But I was really about to go to Florida. And I tell dudes all the time, I'd have had 2 national championships, man. I'd have 2.
Damn, you would have been there with that squad too, huh?
And so look, you remember the starting 2 was Lee Humphrey.
Lee Humphrey,
yeah.
Man, I was taking that.
He was just a shooter.
That, you know what I'm saying? But he fit what they needed because they had everything else. Taurine Green, Brewer, Horford, Joakim Noah. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna be that 2 guard, and something happened where their coach who was recruiting me, I don't know what happened, but I didn't end up going because one of my best friends went there, Anthony Roberson, and who's from Saginaw, and he killed there. So. But that was I really wanted to go there too. It didn't work out. The Michigan State Syracuse thing happened, and that was it, man. After that game, I committed. They came down, and yeah, I've been Cuse ever since.
Your coach that made the call to Syracuse was while you was at Oak Hill?
Nah, because I was at it was my AU coach. This was my sophomore year.
Oh, so this was during that sophomore year when you did. Oh yeah, because you committed your sophomore year.
I committed. So then I think my junior year, when I was in my junior year, I went to the game. It was 2003, so I was a junior. It was 03, 04, yep, because my senior year was 04, 05. But yeah, so it was my AAU coach who called, And after that, they came to practice the next week, and I remember Boeheim like, what do you want to go? Do you want to go to Hughes or what? What do you want to do? And then it was like, yeah, man, that was it. You know what I mean? It really didn't take a lot, you know?
Well, so what was it like when you first get to campus at Syracuse? Like how was that adjustment? Like going from big time prep school in Oak Hill, but going to Syracuse, the Carrier Dome, playing in front of thousands and thousands of people. How was that?
Man, unbelievable. You know, my freshman year, we actually set the I think it was the biggest crowd at the time. It was GMAC's last game, his senior year last game. We played Villanova. It was like 33,500, something like that. So at the time, that was the biggest. So you just imagine you looking around, you know, you've been in the dome, you see all up top, it's all full. You know what I mean? So just the experience of being able to play, and it's different now. I call the games for Cuse now. So like I'm in the building, and I'm like, man, it's about 8,000 in here. I'm like, man, we had that for a practice. You know what I mean? So like every game I was used to 20, 25, 30,000 every single game. You know, when we played Pitt, every Big East game. I don't care if you played South Florida or Rutgers or whoever it was, you know what I'm saying? The teams that would be considered, you know, lower teams or whatever. And we still had 25.
Hold out arena.
What else you gonna do in Syracuse in the winter, man?
Right.
You better be going to the game. I don't know what to tell you if you're not.
What was your relationship with Boeheim like?
I mean, it's way better now. You know what I'm saying? Look, he was he an old school coach. Like he came from that era with, you know, Bobby Knight, like the Dean Smiths. Maybe not that old, but he was coaching there for like 45 years. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, he always made sure that you knew like, hey, I'm the coach. We not friends. You know what I'm saying? We not, and that's what the assistants were for. You know what I'm saying? Like Coach Hopkins or Coach Murphy or Coach Fine, like those were the guys who, like, if you was feeling some type of way, they like, Eric, come over here. Boom, boom. Coach wasn't getting into all that. He ain't had time to, like, you know, make sure you felt good and all that. He was trying to win basketball games. And I respect it because he was just like me. Like, he was a fiery dude, competitive. I can't tell you how many times, like, we just got into it just off of like being super competitive. Like, nah, motherfucker, this is like, we got to again, like I ended up ultimately listening to him because, I mean, why wouldn't I? It's a Hall of Fame. But you know how it is when you got two competitors really wanting to win. And I mean, we butt heads plenty of times in practice and, you know, sometimes in the game, just going back and forth. But man, I needed it because I tell you what, he knew what time it was. And he was like, all right, are you good? Are you going to go and just, let's go score some buckets? That's all, like, you know what I'm saying? So he really gave that green light. Myself, Johnny Flynn. I remember one game against Providence, he was like, look, you got a couple guys hurt. I need you guys to go and score 25 plus. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't got to tell me that anyway. But if you going to tell me it, you just putting that battery in my back. You know what I'm saying? So that's, he was one of those coaches who he just, I didn't need any confidence because that's how I was built. Man, he was going to give you more. You know what I'm saying?
Let you be you.
Let me be you. Like I said, back to that Michigan State, like Tom Izzo, one of the greatest coaches, but I just feel sometimes it's more like systematic. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of coaches, double fist, 2-1-2 play, come off the down screen, and once you catch it, rock out. You got to make a decision. You know what I'm saying? That's what basketball is, man. Is read and react. You're not.
Yeah.
When you doing the sets and the execution, that's for teams who ain't got guys who can't rock. You know what I'm saying? That's so they need that execution to be able to get open shots. You know what I'm saying? Even like with you guys with Jamie Dixon, like, yeah, you ran sets, but at the end of the day, you just try to get in space so you can make a decision. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, man, we ain't complicated. We had 4 or 5 plays, man. And then we come off the down screen, double fist, you making a decision, man. You drive and kick or drive and drop, whatever it is. But that's why I love Boeheim. He simplifies stuff. And then, you know, if we needed to play at like during a timeout or whatever, he go X and O's for you. You know what I mean? But he kept it simple and he just let us have our freedom to play and make mistakes. And I think for me, that's what I needed.
No, we could definitely see that. We could definitely see that playing Syracuse because even though you said it, I ain't gonna lie to you, Dixon used to kill me with slow down, 42 get. I every play. Now, when I got there, Levance was like, nah, we playing. And said we playing up and down. Levance senior year, we going. My junior year. So.
Well, think about this, man. How much easier it is to play when you ain't got to play against a set defense every single time in half
Right.
court, man, I'm banging my head against the wall having to play against Pittsburgh every single time in the half. Man, that's hard to score. You need to get up and down one time so I get some transition buckets or run out threes or whatever it is. Even now, like I watch the games, I'm like, man, what's their best offense? Transition.
Every time.
Get out and try to get ahead of the defense, because when they get into half court, like right now, this team in particular, they don't know how to execute for real. And then it should be where like they trying to get pick and roll or go ISO, but I don't know. Sometimes if you ain't got the guys who rocking like that and being able to make decisions, it's not gonna work out. That's when you're gonna have to be able to execute, you know?
Yeah.
Y'all boys sat back in that zone, made it hell for people too.
Yeah,
Boys
that
still
helps.
figure that out, boy.
Hey, look, motherfucker, I can
lot of
talk shit on one end, and then I'm gonna come back down, and I'm gonna sit right at that top.
You got all that energy.
And then we had athletes.
That was one thing from us that I know from my angle. I always used to be like, I felt like UConn as well. It was just read and react. Like, it was quick sets. Like, y'all played the same way, where down screen, get the ball, get out that person way, let me make a play. And like you said, we ran sets, but we had guys who could make plays, myself included. But I always thought about, dang, I wish we could play a little bit more loose like that, but that just wasn't what we did at our university.
Nah, but I think with like you guys, you had more something like when you had DeJuan, or when you had like going my freshman year, Aaron Gray. You know what I'm saying? So like they had you was throwing it down sometimes, and then they was good enough to be able to pass it out and run into the ball screen or whatever it was. Our Syracuse was guard dominated. Like that's who was making the plays. Like guards win the games. We had Big AO who was super efficient, but he was getting it off the drop. You know what I'm saying? So we was going there drawing and dropping. Rarely were we going to give it down to him. I mean, we did a few times, but that's just not really how our offense was. Like he did an unbelievable job of rim running too. So he got a lot of buckets like that, but we weren't like the team to like throw it in the post and do nah, like if he was getting it, it was a handoff. He was going right back into a ball screen. And then we was just rocking out, making decisions.
What was that moment where you was your welcome to the Big East? Like your moment, or even not the Big East, just college basketball period. Like where you was like, oh shit, I'm here. Like, this is real.
You know what? It just was I'm gonna say the first thing that popped in my head. So it was my freshman year, and we played UConn at home. And this was UConn when they had 7 pros on their team that year. It was Rudy Gay, Marcus Williams, Rashad Anderson, Hilton Armstrong, Josh Boone, Denham Brown coming off the bench. And then like, the guys in our class, Craig Austry, I forget who else was it. I don't know if Jerome probably wasn't there yet. He wasn't even in there because I was a little bit older than him, I think. Yeah, he wasn't there yet. But they had a mob. And I remember I was so hyped. I remember when we did the lineups, the starting 5, man, I turned and yelled at the at our student section. Like I was so hyped because that game, ESPN, that was I don't know if it was Big Monday or something. It was one of those Super Tuesday. We had that back then. You know what I'm saying? That was still going on. And that was the joint when my man Marcus Williams had just got in trouble for the laptop stuff. You know what I'm saying? So they was on them. They had like laptops. They was on them, man. But I remember, man, I probably had like 17 that game, but we got, man, they beat us. They had to beat us by 15, 20, dog, that game. But I remember my kind of like wake up call was, man, this dude Rudy Gay, he ain't average but 8, 9, 10. Like he was just seeing it. He was like, man, this dude unbelievable. He just going to the league just off jumping crazy. And then when he got to the league, now you like, damn, where was that? You wasn't even shooting it like that. Now you're averaging 20 at Memphis. You know what I mean? But he just got so much better. But he caught one off the break and just looked back like this and straight jumped up and did a 360 off of nothing and just like, I'm like, damn, that's some different athleticism right there. You know what I mean? And then Marcus Williams, like he was the ultimate maestro. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just getting guys in their spot, left-handed, you know what I'm saying? Always in control. Like if he was underrated to me. You know what I mean? I know he played in the league for a little bit, but just his pace and he wasn't like overly athletic, but he always got to his spots. He knew how to use his body. He was a good enough shooter to where if he was dipping off him, then he was going to knock it down. But that team right there was like, I'm like, damn, yeah, this Big East something different. Because look, that first year was the first year that the Big East brought in like Marquette, Cincinnati, DePaul.
Louisville.
So we was already like, Big East was already like that. But then you bring in Cincinnati, they was nasty. They had some nasty dudes on their team. They just want to rip your head off. You know what I'm saying? And I remember my freshman year, I don't know, big fella. What's my big fella name, man? Under the rim. Man, dog. Yes. He was so, hey, man, that was an intimidating dude right there, man. Like he didn't even have to say nothing. Like he was just under the rim looking real. He was always upset. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so you know me, I ain't gonna say it, but I'm still gonna talk about shit too. But it was a couple times you like, all right, bet I'm gonna, you know what I mean? But it was that whole Big East.
Oh man.
Man, it was unbelievable. But that UConn team, it was like, damn, all right, well, there's some other shit right here.
It's crazy you say that because we know obviously we the same year, and I got the same take. My freshman year, we on the road. I tell them all the time. I'm like, yo, I'm looking at Rudy Gay like, yo, what is going on here, bro? Like, he's too good. Like, this is like their team was too stacked. Like, and of course I'm competitive like you, but inside I'm like, they got too much, man. This is too much. Like, how they all on the same team? Like, this what college basketball is? So I totally get what you're saying when you say that, man. And then back on freshman year, watching you from afar, once again, we the same year. I'm like, yo, we finally, again, we played regular season. We matched up in the Big East championship. And we was the first team, whoever win would be the first team to win in 4 nights. And obviously, y'all got that win. Harry Macklemore.
Yes, I remember that joint.
I was pissed, man. I was pissed. Man.
Hey, look, we needed that because for real, we wouldn't have made the tournament without that run. We had to win. So it was Cincinnati. It was like a 9 seed. And I tell you what, Devin Downey was a motherfucker, bro. Devin Downey.
That name.
Bro, he was so tough to me. He was like that for real. And then he ended up going to South Carolina and was killing there too, right? But that Cincinnati team, like him, James White, Eric Hicks, they had Muhammad, they had a couple other shooters. I forget who, but they had a team too. Andy Kennedy was coaching them. I remember that. They had a good ass team for real. And then the second night, we ended up playing UConn, #1 team in the country. They was #1 in the country. We was on our shit that game because we won 96-94. Good lie, G-Mac was like playing his ass off. He went on a crazy run. And then the third game was Georgetown. We was down 15 at half.
That was crazy.
Down 15 at half. At halftime, Coach Boeheim didn't say nothing because this motherfucker Derek Coleman just boom popped in the locker room and just he was that was the halftime speech, Derek Coleman. You know what I'm saying? Like he was on like Terrence and all the bigs. Like, man, what y'all motherfuckers doing? This ain't serious. Because you know, like all the alum come to the Garden for that Big East. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care where you was at, UConn, Pittsburgh, Syracuse. They was there at that Garden. It was like you was on the stage performing. The Garden. I mean, that's another conversation. That's a whole nother level. That you know what I mean? Playing in Madison Square, unbelievable. But he came through the door and then did his thing, cursed everybody out. We go out in the second half and come back, beat them. You know what I mean? G-Mac had to steal. I had the little go-ahead layup at the end, and then they turned it over at the end, and that was it. And then we played y'all, and it was that same thing. It was down to the wire. You know what I mean? You had you, Carl Krauser, Aaron Gray. You had a big front court because y'all had big Levon Kendall.
Yep.
And he was a bruiser. Like I remember he was from Canada. He was Canada. So think about Eric Gray, 7 foot heavy. Like you ain't seeing no big like that playing in the league no more, man. He couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? But he was, I mean, try to move that dude. You know what I'm saying? And he had like the soft touch. He could step out and shoot the 3 a little bit. And then Kendall, and then, I mean, y'all had I think Sam Young too.
Yeah, he was freshman with us. Yeah,
I was saying, I mean, that was a mob right there. So like, we was just for that 4 games in 4 days. That was unbelievable run, man. Like whoever would win that game, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, we would have done it. So that was dope right there, especially being in my freshman year.
Just one more last thing on that for me. Like you said, y'all alumni always came back. So it was like a home game for y'all. Like, so when we coming in, we playing after y'all for that Georgetown game. Like, so we there for them last seconds, and the place is rocking. Like y'all, like, you know, every time y'all score, it's going crazy. Like, just to touch on that, like you said, it's just a crazy feeling. I know I wasn't on the cues, but I'm looking like, yo, like, what is this? Like, this moment is like gonna be epic. Like, looking back now, it was obviously, but being there, hearing it, I was like, yo, I know y'all going crazy. Y'all feeding off that energy. Like, it's like a home game.
Like Man, none other. St. John's, that was their home court, but that was our home court for real. You know what I'm saying? Like they might as well played in the Lou Carnesecca arena because that was the most fans they was getting. Whoever we was playing there, we was selling it out. At that time, I don't think the Knicks was really
That's good.
good like that. So we was selling the games out over them.
Mm-hmm.
It was 15,000. We was selling it out every single time, man. All the alum in New York City, like Syracuse, that is our home. I mean, it was a couple of times where you was like had commercials up at Syracuse. It'd be like Madison Square, home of the Orange. You know what I'm saying? Just little stuff like that. But even to this day, man, it's so much Syracuse alum down there. I go down there and just moving around, somebody gonna shout you out. Devo or whatever it is. Like Syracuse, they travel crazy, man. It's unbelievable. I done been in the weirdest spots, and you'd be like, you wouldn't think of it, and a motherfucker yelling your name, Devo. That's what they call me up here, Devo in Q. So if you hear Devo, they shouting at me like. So but yeah, man, the fan base unreal, and they super passionate. You know what I'm saying? And I think for them, if you giving everything you got. Like I was a dude who like I held my hat on that. Like I was gonna really play hard. You know what I'm saying? Talk shit, compete at a high level, and then just let the cars fall how they fell. You know what I'm saying? And they respect that. I think now a lot of these young dudes, they talented and skilled, like some of the most talented, skilled dudes like ever. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's a really, really skilled generation. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, they ain't competing hard, dog. They ain't having the effort. Like they lazy, like they moping. You feel what I'm saying? Like even on the court when I see it, I'm like I said, I'm calling the games. I'm seeing it. I'm like, y'all ain't, man, you really good, but you ain't playing hard.
They do a lot of skill training nowadays, and they're not hooping. They don't hoop like we did. Yeah, we hooped back in the day.
You can't really teach the effort part, especially when you get to college. Right. I tell dudes, like I go on the radio, whatever, have my little podcast, and I'm like, look, if I got to talk to you about effort and energy, what we doing, man? I can't. What are we doing? Like that should have been in grade school. Like whoever was coaching, like that's the separator. Everybody's so good when you get to this level. You know what I'm saying? Then think about the NBA. 10 times better, whatever it is. The separation is how hard you competing. That's why, and I'm just gonna use my man Wemby for example in the league. Yes, he an alien, but dog, he competing so hard. You feel what I'm saying? So like he already good. Now he out of this world just because he playing so hard. Man, I tell dudes all the time, I want you on the team because you gonna play hard. I can work with you. Everything else, we can figure it out.
That's right.
But you busting your ass. This dude who ain't busting his ass, he gonna be inconsistent forever.
Or even take it like somebody like SGA, a guy who's he's probably one of the top 3, top 4 players in the league right now, but no one's seen that coming. But that motherfucker work hard. He put the work in. Like I want to be great. I ain't just, you know what I'm saying? I ain't just hit a hoop. I'm gonna show y'all motherfuckers I'm gonna compete.
Like KD, like come on, man, KD, and this is like I seen it with my own eyes, man. This dude was like just that's all he wanted to do was hoop, like just in the gym, shots, and still to this day he was like when you listen to him speak, man, that dude just want to hoop. He don't care about nothing else, no relationship, nothing. Like he just want to play ball. That's why he in his 17th year averaging 25 and like 50, 90, 40 type shit. And he's 37. Like that it's a difference. You could tell the difference between dudes who really love to hoop. You know what I mean? Because if you love to hoop, you're going to give it your all regardless. And rather than a dude who is really good and like somebody telling them they good, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a difference. You know what I'm saying? You could tell by the passion and the intensity that they play with.
And then you add the NIL to the then that changes everything. You got dudes getting a lot of money, getting paid a lot.
Man, I don't know what the value is with some of these dudes. I'm like, he getting what? Hold on, man. Like, he need to give some of that back.
Oh my God. I say it all the time, man. You gotta give it back, man. It don't be making no sense, man. I'm for everybody getting their money, but some of it don't make no sense, man. Seriously.
It don't make sense because these dudes ain't good enough to. It's not adding up. Like the money isn't equal in the production. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. It's not equal in that. And I tell dudes, man, you better save that, save that, because this might be the last. And man, you make 700, 800. You straight for if you know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? You good for a while. You don't even gotta whatever. You can figure it out for a couple of years or maybe a year. You know what I'm saying? If you do it right. But man, everybody think they going to the NBA, man. You know what I mean? I see dudes like got big old chains. I'm like, bro, you just spent 30 racks for what? You still got to pay taxes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just and again, like I know you know what? I say this too, because man, if they'd have gave me that bread back
That's
then.
what I'm about to ask you. I'm about to say, you coming out of Oak Hill, what you asking for? What Q's got to pay you?
I need a meal. I need 7 figures. You know what I'm saying? That's not even some of these guards I'm seeing getting 3 mil. Shit, I need 4. It's not even. But again, like everything happens for a reason. We wasn't supposed to get it at that time. I'd have been. Listen,
I wouldn't be here right now.
yeah. Everything works out how it's supposed to be, man. I'm in a mindset where I need to be now.
Yo,
you know
you said the dudes got the chain though. That's what I really realized. NIL too. It's crazy you say that. What's my man from Kansas? Remember I wrote y'all like, yo.
Oh yeah,
Hunter Dickinson.
No,
Was that Hunter?
he was on the bench one day. I woke up from a nap, man. I couldn't. Yo, the chain was so crazy. I said, yo, what is going on? I texted him like, yo, NIL was getting like, what is going on? That's when I realized they was really getting money. I said, oh nah, son got on one of those.
No, they getting, man, these dudes on Q's. It's a dude who just came as a shooter getting 750. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I don't know. It don't make no sense. It was a dude last year. I ain't gonna say no names, but in the game, he playing with a grill. In the game, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a grill. I said, man, I can't even take you serious. It's a time and a place for that. Like, I'm taking my earrings, my chain. I don't have rings on when I'm hooping. You ain't outside. This is college basketball high level. I can't even take you serious if I see the grill in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? And that, totally for me, I was like, damn, why the coach ain't say nothing to him? Like, how, like you just letting these dudes like take control if you letting that happen. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of coaches is like that now too, because they tiptoeing and shit because they afraid like, oh, he just gonna bounce and go somewhere else. Man, all right. Well, if that's the case, go ahead. Because I can't coach like that, bro. If you ain't rocking with me, then you going somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? I gotta coach how I coach regardless. But these dudes tippy-toeing around and don't worry, you'll be okay. Man, look, that ain't, man, I know when I grew up, my AU coaches was hitting me in my chest if I didn't fucking get a rebound or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it was one time we was in Cleveland. We went to Cleveland for an AAU tournament, man, for the Hurricanes. We had, man, I'm telling you, we had McDonald's All-Americans all through our program. It was, I don't know if you remember like Deion Harris or Lou Famatimi, like those dudes, like growing up, like those dudes were older than me, but they were all beasts. I was in the younger teams. Man, I remember one time we was being too loud. Man, our coach made us go outside at 2 a.m. and run the whole block. You know what I'm saying? Just like this is how we grew up playing and being coached. Like it was like hard nosed. Like that's all. I didn't know any other way. You know, all that soft shit. I ain't even know what that was. You know,
come from the same.
Right, all of us did
for real.
Different era.
How did you get into doing the broadcasting at Syracuse?
Man, it's and I didn't go to school for none of it. I went to school. I tell everybody I went to school for basketball, man. That's what I went to basketball for. You know
everybody on this call.
My major was communications.
I went for engineering. But go, okay.
Yeah, damn, you went for engineering. That's a motherfucker right there.
Hey, that boy lying, all right?
Yeah. Cause damn, you'd have had. I know I had 12 credits. That you'd have had damn near 20 something doing engineer classes. But I what was that? Was my fault? I forgot. What was that again? I slipped my mind. What you just said?
Get into the broadcast.
Oh yeah, sorry, my fault. Yeah, so I was a communications major, and when I came back from playing ball overseas, I hopped on staff in 2016 for 2 years. And during that time, I do like local radio and just pre-game, post-game stuff. Like, you know how they'll grab some coaches to talk and boom, boom, whatever it is. I went for a year to Detroit and coached at Detroit Mercy for a year. And then when I came back, I started my own like basketball stuff. And that's when I really kind of hopped into the like local media. So I had my own show with this local media in Syracuse where I do all the pre-post games. We'll have like watch parties, stuff like that. Then I hopped in a podcast. What was it? Field of 68. I hopped on with them for a year. That was like my first go at it. And then ever since then, I just been doing more. Like now I do a podcast with Atan Thomas, who used to play at Syracuse, and just a bunch of local radio stuff. How the hoops start, the broadcasting with like ESPN, it started what I did the radio for the Qs. Like I did during the games, you know what I'm saying? So they're like, hey, you want to do it, see what you are, and then it ended up being, hey, you want to try the television? I'm like, yes, all right, bet. Like I'm just gonna throw myself in and just learn as I go. You know, I know the game. It's you just gotta learn the little different, details with it or whatever. I ended up doing that, and then I got an opportunity because Corey Alexander, who does the games, I know y'all know Corey Alexander, his flight got canceled to Cuse, and it was like a 12 o'clock game. They called me at 10 at night. I'm at my daughter's track meet, and they're like, oh, can you do the game tomorrow? It's at 12. I'm like, shit, who they play? Who's playing? You know what I'm saying? Who's playing? I know Q's like the back of my hand. I don't need to do anything. You know what I'm saying? I already know them. But I had to do the Miami, did my little scout report. I went up to the coach's office, got, just do my little due diligence. Boom. Next day, ESPN2. That was my first, experience being on ESPN. Did it. Boom. My man, I had the game winning. My man hit the game winning shot, Quadir Copeland against Miami, and I was on the call for my first one ever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
Crazy.
damn, that was a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like God set that up real right there. You know what I mean? And then ever since then, I've just been getting more opportunities. So that season, I got like 4 more games I did like Wake Forest, Clemson. I did a couple Notre Dame games, and then ever since then, I just been getting more. So like last year, I did 15 ACC games, so that's the most you can get until they have to give you a contract. You know what I'm saying? And then I do all the Syracuse non-conference games, and then this year it's been the same deal. So I did all the Syracuse non-conference. Next week or next January 8th, I go do Cal at Virginia Tech. So yeah, I just been rolling with it, man. And the more, like with anything, the more you do it, the more reps you get, the more comfortable you get doing it. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like in the beginning, it was like I was trying to like feel my way, navigate it. But then, when they give me the little tips or whatever, they're like, hey, bring energy, just be yourself. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm just going boom. And that's what it is. Like I feel I can just be my authentic self on the call. I'm not trying to be Dick Vitale or somebody else. I'm Eric Devendorf, and I know the game. I'm speaking the game, and then again, you just kind of learn how to like the timing of it. Like on the replays, they'll be in your ear, like 3-point down on one end, dunk on the other. So you kind of got to get in your shit, be like, hey, Fields on the break for 3, but on the other end comes down Haskins for a breakaway, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of get in your shit, and that's when you can really be creative. And the more you do it, the better you're gonna become at it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to just continue to rock with that, man. And it's a blessing because I never thought I'd be, you know what I'm saying, doing broadcasting for them. But it was dope.
After that first game, did you feel like, I did good, or I want to keep doing this, or was it like, I don't know?
You know what I'm saying? I think you always like at first kind of question yourself. You like, damn, all right, I could have did this better. So you nitpicking and shit. But I felt pretty comfortable, you know what I'm saying? And then when I started, I hit a couple of my boys, or one of my boys is an agent for CAA, and he does all the broadcasting, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, just what you think? They're like, look, shit, if you want to do it, you could do it. You know what I'm saying? So like I was like, all right, bet. That's all I needed to hear. You know what I'm saying? This isn't like hooping, you know what I'm saying? This is a little bit different. So like, but once you get that from somebody else, now your confidence at a whole different. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm about to go ahead and really try to, see what I can do with this. And just, that's where it's at right now.
As far as you watching film, is it the same like when you hoop? You got to study film for a game or something like that? You watching it the same way or no?
Like, so everybody probably do it different. I'm treating this shit like a scouting report. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do. I watch like the 4 games leading up to my game. So like right now, just today I was watching Cal and I was watching Virginia Tech, and I'll just break them down player by player. All right, this is, you know what I'm saying? Like shooter, scorer, driver, his tendencies, all that. And then you break down the overall team, you do the stats, and you kind of get a feel of like how they play, what they good at, stuff like that. And then, bro, just to be honest, like I do crazy notes. I just like to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing all that real thorough shit. Man, you probably not going to use, you might use 5% of that shit, bro. I'm just going to be honest with you. You go into but it's there if I need it. You know what I'm saying? And And it's happened before where like something happens, you'd be like, oh man, I'm about to use this motherfucker because I did all this research. So like whether it's a percentage or like last 5 games he been doing. So like that's something that like the producers see, they're like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? He did his research, he was on his shit. Because the producers are the ones who give you jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those are the ones who, you know, keep giving you games. But yeah, I treat it like a scout report. And I know some dudes who just go in there straight blank. I'm like, yo, I can't even I couldn't even do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I know because they was telling me some dudes was going there last year and they'll get the call because of the name. So they're gonna get a chance. You know what I'm saying? But once you get in there, you gotta treat it like you really want to be good at it. You feel what I'm saying? So that's how I am with it, and I'm thorough with it. And then I've been lucky enough to like work with a lot of good dudes on the play-by-play side. Like, and it's funny because 90% of these dudes went to Syracuse.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And all the media broadcasting, it's all Syracuse. My producer, my play-by-play guy, they like, yeah, we went to Cuse, alum 85 or some shit. I'm like, yo, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you're going to look out. You know what I'm saying? And all these, like the Drew Carter play-by-play Boston Celtics, I did games with him, Anish Shroff, like all these guys would be West Durham. Like all these dudes is legend on the play-by-play side. So it's really me, like, humbling myself and kind of like, because I'm stepping into their shit, so to speak. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm kind of being a sponge and just trying to get better and learn from them too.
Hey, hold on, G, my bad, real quick. Not to switch gears, but it made me think of something. I heard that at Syracuse, Boeheim didn't, it was really no scouting report. Is that true? Like it was just, y'all just...
No, we had a scout report.
Okay, because someone told me that and I was like, nah, ain't no way. He just because y'all read the 2-3 zone.
Man, look, so first of all, we didn't watch film. We don't, I mean, unless this is what we did. The night before the game, everybody go to a hotel, you know, because he want to make sure nobody going out doing all that. That didn't matter. We was getting out if we need to get out. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all did that at home games too? At home games?
And that's why he did it. You know, just at home games. Because back in the day, somebody went out, got hurt. I don't know, they got in a fight before the game. So ever since then, he was, y'all got to be in the hotel. You know what I mean? But I was 50-50. You know what I'm saying? But we'll do the little have dinner and then he'll go over like 5 minutes of their plays. So if we doing y'all, we'll do the offense and then he'll show y'all defense. You know what I mean? Then he'll go through the personnel. This is what they like to do. 20 minutes, bro. And then he'll give us a sheet. This is boom. We might boom. All right, bet. Man, we going to rock tomorrow. What? That's it. You know what I'm saying? We at the end of the day, we going to hoop. You know what I'm saying? But so it wasn't like we did have a scouting report, but coach was more so, man, look, it's about us.
Oh no, so it was really kind of like what dude was saying to me.
Yeah, it's about us. Like if we do what we supposed to do, you ain't got to worry about what UConn doing. You know what I'm saying? We gonna win the game, and it just, you know, sometimes we didn't do what we had to do.
Your scout on you probably was about 10, 15 minutes alone. With us, we doing
right. I'll
play that.
Want to go left? He want to go left. He want to go. I know that.
We got a whole paragraph for you. I wish we still had it. I told you. We had that you going left.
Man, somebody from Louisville. When Louisville sent me their scout, I forget who showed me their scout from Louisville, but somebody said, and man, they had me. It was like he's right-handed, but he's going all left every single time. One of the best left hands. It's weird for me because my dad showed me how to use my left hand early, and I was just like, I'm like, man, I like laying that shit up more than dunking. Yeah. Shit, you know what I mean? You just be creative with shit and just smacking glass. You know what I'm saying? The first time you could smack glass, you like, man, that's better than a dunk. You know what I'm saying? And my left hand was just, I don't know. I always had like a knack with my left, like going all the way out here, flipping it up, doing all that. So when I was shooting right hand and people was trying to force me to my left, I'm like, all right, bet. That's, you know what I mean? I'm strong going left. You know what I mean? And then they were like, all right, we're going to force you right. Well, like, motherfucker, I'm right-handed. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, those, I seen some of those scout reports. Those were funny. Ours wasn't maybe as thorough, you know what I'm saying? But it was just like, hey, guys, we going to go out here and compete and we going to get the job done. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, what moment at Syracuse are you most proud of, like, during your career?
Probably like winning the Big East championship for sure. I mean, anytime you win something like that in a conference like that, I mean, it's a memorable moment. Probably my most memorable moment that I still get talked about to this day was the 6 OT. You know what I'm saying?
UConn game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's people was asking me that last week. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's the first thing when they see me. They like, man, I remember that 7 OT, 6. Like they naming all type of OTs. I'm like, look, man, 6 OTs. All right, like tell me you didn't watch it by saying that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't even know what number of OTs we went into. But it's that right there. Madison Square Garden, the Big East tournament, UConn, like everything was set up. You know what I mean? Whether the teams, like the coaching matchup, the players, the venue, ESPN. You know what I'm saying? Like when I hit the shot and it didn't count, and I stepped. Man, look, I ain't thinking nothing. Nothing planned. It was just a straight reaction. Like, man, I'm here. I'm in Madison Square Garden. I'm about to go ahead and show myself real quick. And then that was kind of like the setup. I tell everybody that was the setup for what was to come. You feel what I'm saying? So what a great setup. And then boom, didn't count. Now 6 overtimes later. I mean, it was an instant classic right after the game. I'm talking about me and AO went to the diner. It was probably like 2:33. We went to the diner. You know, New York City people up still. And then when we went back to the hotel, they was playing the instant classic on ESPN. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. So at that moment, we ain't really know like how, you know, the magnitude of it. But now you sit back and, bro, that was an unbelievable experience. Like, and I'm biased, obviously, but that's the greatest college basketball game of all time. If you ask me, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just the competition, the two teams, like how it went.
Yeah, that game
the
was crazy.
storylines, everything was set up. You know what I mean?
You fouled out in that game, right? Or am I tripping?
Fouled out in the fourth.
In the fourth. Yeah, I was about to say, I remember you, not finishing the game.
We was watching in the hotel. We was pissed. I think we just got.
We was watching in the hotel. Yeah, we pissed. We lost to West Virginia.
Like, they still.
And we played West Virginia the next day and went into OT.
Yep.
We went the next day, and they had a mob too. I'm not gonna lie, they had a squad. Who they had? Ebanks, Truck Bryant,
It was
John
Jones,
Butler, Tom Butler.
Yep, Butler.
Kevin
They
Jones.
had a mob, man. And then that was Huggins coaching, right?
Yeah.
Hugs was gonna get him right, regardless. He was drinking on the sideline as he coached.
Yeah, you played a little half court trap. That was a little nice.
3-1? Yeah.
It was
Coach always used to say, throw it diagonal. Throw it diagonal. They ain't got nobody in the back. You know what I'm saying? That 1-3-1 is so high that we just you get it on the wing. You try to just get a motherfucker from the baseline. Go ahead and you know what I mean. But man, that was an unbelievable tournament. That 09, that was it 09. Yeah, it's 2009.
That's
That was
08, 09.
Yeah, that was a hell of a tournament. And you know what? It's crazy. I actually that tournament. I think I broke like the all-time scoring record for that tournament for in the Big East. And then who comes like 2 years later? Kemba came and crushed that joint. I mean, he had like 120. I had like 90. He had like 125 or something like that. But he was cooking. But I felt good for a couple years.
You had the record?
Yeah, for a couple years. Yeah.
Y'all lost that championship game, right?
We lost to Louisville. Louisville, man. Again, Louisville was top 5. They just hit. They had Williams, Samardo Samuels, Earl Clark. Man, they was big and athletic at that front line, dude. They had big guards. And then Andre McGee, he was another like quick little guard in there. And what was the other dude? Preston Knowles. He was short. Yeah, Agasosa.
They had a crew. They had that press, so they used to try to change the speed of the game. It was good. Big East was good, man.
Big East was different. Every team we named, bro, it was gonna be a competing high level every single time.
How was it difference for you compared to you coming as a freshman playing with Jerry Mack to you being a junior, I believe, when Johnny comes in, right? He's a freshman. How was it now that
so
the leader, the captain? How did that feel? That role changed for you?
Man, you know what? I was such a dude coming in there like, man, I'm the man regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what made me good. Like that's what kind of like I had that chip on my shoulder. So I was like, G-Mac was obviously, he was the man, but I'm like, shit, I'm busting his ass in practice. What you mean? He can't guard me neither.
Yeah.
But so that's how I felt. But like, I mean, me and GMAC, we had a great relationship on and off the court. So I think that really helped us, just play better in the games. I remember my first Big East game. It was at Notre Dame, and we both had I had like 22, he had like 25, and we won at the Joy Center. And they had a good mob. We forget Notre Dame. They had Chris Quinn, Colin Falls,
3-point.
Torin Francis, big fella. They had my young fella come in the next year, Torrey Jackson. He's from Saginaw. Carl Mack. Yeah, he's from Saginaw. I watched them grow up play. That's like Draymond. He's from 5 minutes from where I'm from. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like that whole area. There's some hoopers out there, man. And it's like a mentality. Like, again, like dudes wasn't necessarily the best, but man, they was ready to rip your head off out there. It was dogs running around. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how we played. You know what I'm saying? So like when we was talking shit out there, and dudes was like, I'm like, hold on, this come with it. And I thought this regular. You know what I'm saying? Like, so dudes would take it offensive. I'm like, bro, I've been since 8 years old, grown men been talking shit to me. This is what you know what I'm saying. So this is kind of what it is. But no, me and GMAC, hey, that was a great my freshman year. He helped me out, man, a lot. You know what I'm saying. And then fast forward to my junior year, man, Johnny Flynn was, bro. When I tell you, this dude was something different. Like, you talk about some of the best guards of all time coming through the Qs, he had to be up there, bro. Top 2, top 3 for me. I seen it firsthand every day practice. Like, he had a 46-inch vertical. Like, he was so creative with the ball, crafty. He had flavor with his shit. It wasn't just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he made it look good. You like, that was you ain't even have to do it like that, but you did. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just. And then he could shoot the ball. And he was and with the separator, because he was only 5'10" for real, 5'11". Man, he was a straight dog. Like, I'm talking about, I thought I was talking shit. Man, listen, this dude, me and him was ready to fight in practice multiple occasions every week. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just two dudes that didn't want to back down from each other, regardless if he busting my ass or I'm busting his. Nobody trying to admit that. You know what I'm saying? All right, bet. Let me get the ball going right back. You know what I'm saying? But Johnny was he was a different animal, man. And that was like, same with G. It was like, I'm playing with myself in the backcourt. It was, one of the same or two of the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was fortunate enough to play with some guys who had that same motor and that same mentality. Like, all right, bro, your turn. Go ahead, get a bucket. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how we played. You know what I mean? So it was. I never really had a problem with like, hey, I'm gonna be the man. I'm the man. Man, look, we was just rocking. You know what I mean? We didn't really have. I think it was more so like the media and all that. They would try to make it like, hey, this is the best, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, we knew we could hoop, and we was just kind of playing off each other.
Your senior year, y'all definitely was stacked. Did you feel like y'all could win a national title?
So my man, I had 1 year left. You know what I'm saying? So I left early. I had tore my ACL, so I missed a year.
That was in your senior year?
That was my redshirt junior year.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So we ended up losing to Blake Griffin in the Sweet 16. We had a 3 seed. We beat Stephen F. Austin, and then we beat James Harden in them the second game. That's when James Harden, that was his last game. He had like 8. Yep. He couldn't do nothing with the zone. You know what I'm saying? We had too many athletes. You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't knocking it down, it was going to be tough to be able to try to get in there, because we had 6'9", 6'10", 6'9" across the bottom. Which you get by us, you going
always.
Yeah, for real. So, and then that third game, Blake Griffin was just doing some different shit. You know what I'm saying? Hitting his head on the backboard, and you know, he had like 30 and 15. And then I think his brother had played good, and then who really was who killed us and didn't hit threes all season, and of course against us he hit 7. Tony Crockett. Ooh. Tony Crockett hit like he was wearing the long sleeves. I'm like, man, you ain't hit 7 threes in a game ever, all the way back to high school, bro. But nah, he was hooping though. He could play too. He was a good defender. I mean, they had a good squad. Oklahoma, they played well, man. But so that was my last year. You know what I mean? And then I declared for the draft. But that year after me, that they was number 1 in the country with like Andy Rollins, Wes Johnson. Yep. They had Scoop. They had AO. They had a lot of guys come back. I think me, Johnny, and Paul were the only guys that had left. But that opened up like for other guys to come in and rock up, because we had dudes now. It wasn't like Andy was like coming off the bench in that 6 OT game. we wouldn't even win it if he came off those down screens like
Shooting.
he was one of the best shooters I ever seen. G-Mac was like a volume shooter. You know what I'm saying? He shot a lot of shots, you know what I'm saying? He could knock them down, but he was only like 33%. You know what I mean? Andy was like a man, I'm telling you, dog, it was so picture perfect too when he shot that thing. You know what I mean? And he was an underrated playmaker. You know, so that next year they had, I think they were 34-2. And Wes Johnson was like the Big East player of the year that year.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? He was
team?
Yeah, he was killing. He was first team All-American, and they ended up losing to Butler in the Elite Eight because AO had hurt his knee, and he didn't even play in the tournament. They lost to Butler, Gordon Hayward, and them.
I didn't know he didn't play in the tournament.
Yeah, that's what they say. Like, if they would have had him, we'd have won a national championship. He tore his something in the Big East tournament versus, damn, I think it was Georgetown that year.
Gordon Hayward strikes again.
Man, Gordon Hayward, Shelvin Mack, Gordon
Oh,
Hayward.
they know, but he knows business very
Lost
well.
I lost to him my senior year.
As the number one seed, don't forget to say that part. Throw that part in there. You number one seed. Out of here.
Yeah, man, they had
That's
that
tough.
juice going. Brad Stevens, man.
That tournament is brutal, man. It's brutal, man.
Yeah, throw out the seeding, man. Unless you're doing a 1-16, I mean, and even sometimes then you seen it. You know what I mean?
Did we out of your 4 years, what was I don't know, did we just ask that, but out of your 4 years, what was the best chance you felt you had? Was it your freshman year to win the national? Like, out of all 4 years, was your best?
Yeah, it was probably my junior. When we got to the Sweet 16, like, we had a great draw. We was a 3 seed. We went to Miami. Man, had a blast in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the game, and then you got got a couple of days in between. We had a great time, man. But no, that first weekend, boom, we blew through it. We was feeling good, and then we felt good going in to Oklahoma. I think they was I want to say a 2 seed. So it was a 2 versus 3 seed. And if we'd have won that, we'd have played North Carolina, who ended up winning the national championship. But that was the furthest I went. Yeah.
I think, so it'd be your sophomore year. Dante Grant. Dante stayed there 2 years, right?
He was there, so he was there my junior. So freshman, sophomore, junior year. My junior year, I tore my ACL like the 10th game. That's when Dante and Johnny's freshman year. So I only played 10 games with Dante, but we was killing. We was both averaging like 18. But me and Andy was out that year with torn ACLs.
Wow.
So they ended up, we didn't even make the tournament that year.
No, I was going to ask you how it was playing with Dante, but I forgot that's the year you got hurt.
Yeah, no, Dante's my man. And then we ended up rocking again in the TBT. You know what I'm saying? So that was dope. That was a dope experience. I played in TBT for like 7 years, right? We lost y'all that one time.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was before you, y'all won, man. I knew I should have hit you on Twitter, man. I said, yo, they gonna win. He's still in it. These guys ran from me. He gave up. I said, I should hit this dude. And that's the year y'all won, bro. I swear to God. I said, oh, my.
They beat us in the second round. I played against a hard.
I said, I would have taken my 6 minutes.
Peoria.
Yeah, and that was kind of like that. So, like, my first, because I wouldn't even, so I think maybe my first year playing, I was still playing overseas or something. But my whole 7 years, I wasn't even hooping overseas. Like, these dudes playing in the tournament was like coming back still. Man, all right, bet. I got 2 months. All right, let's get it. Like, I'm going to go ahead. And I was always, like, staying in shape. But, again, man, like, when I played in that, man, that competitive side always came out. And I'm like, man, this motherfucker can't hold me. Like, I'm about to, you know what I mean? And we went back to Q's. Shit talk and everything came back out of me. You know what I mean? So, like, that was fun. That was real fun. That felt like playing back in Q's again. And then, yeah, we had Tay. But that 2021 year, that was the year when I was like, I probably wasn't in shape or for real, like playing like that. But shit, you seen who we brought on the team. We had Tyrese Rice, DeAndre Kane, DJ Kennedy. So I was like, all right, bet. I'll play the background, take 80 racks real quick. Shoot. We was always right there. Like that one year Dante played, we got to the Final Four in Baltimore and lost to Overseas Elite. And we probably like by 4 or 5. Like that was like that year I was like, and man, I was cooking. I'm talking about I was cooking that tournament. Averaging like 21. And again, I ain't even been playing overseas. Like after that tournament, I'm like, man, hold on, man. I'm about to get an agent again. Dog. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even end up end up playing because I just ended up doing what I was doing already. Man, I tell you what, just when you playing that and everything started coming back, you like, hold on, man, I'll go try out or something real quick.
It's fun, man. TBT definitely was. That's how I felt getting back with them. I was like, it was like college all over again. I ain't see these dudes be on the team. We competing for some. Like that was the best thing about TBT. For sure, TBT.
That was, and then even and then y'all know, like, even off the court, man, just hanging with dudes and like just reminiscing, like, so like I was playing with, like, it was so many different eras. Like I was playing with Hack, you know what I'm saying? I looked up to Hack playing, like Hakeem Ward, you know what I'm saying? So like Hack played with us, and then like AO, and like I had the young fellas, Chris Joe was playing with me, you know what I'm saying? And my OG, rest in peace, Lawrence Moten, that was one of my really good friends. Like he was coaching, you know what I'm saying? So like Pearl Washington was on the bench with us our first game.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Pearl, you from Brooklyn, like that's Boys and Girls Club. Like that's a heavy name right there. That's not just like you say Pearl, you like, all right, yeah.
Brownsville too.
This guy.
Hey, look, I'll tell you what, it's funny because so you know, Syracuse, when we was in Q's, we always used to like I used to take the bus down to the city quick. $20 on the Greyhound. All right, man, I'll take that joint quick, and you'll be down there for us. So I was always down, and at the time my man was playing for the Knicks, Wilson Chandler. You know what I'm saying? So I was always down in the city. I used to play in the 8-ball classic, Jamal Tinsley joint.
In the Star. All right,
man, I went crazy. Had like 51 game in the joint, and we brought like a Q's team down. Wow. You know what I mean? But man, you know, I'm talking about the environment. I love the environment because everybody around. You know what I'm saying? It's just like man. It was love, man. My man was from Bed-Stuy. He had moved up to Q's. His name was Press, but so he brought us down. That was his neighborhood. So we rocked out but I was always back and forth to the city. You know what I mean? Like Brooklyn, I had people in Canarsie, man, all Bed-Stuy. I was all through Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying?
Man. That's why I liked you from afar, man. Because at first, my class, man, I'm like, the first time I see you, bro, I see you in the slam. You know, it's no internet and I ever like that. You know, this coming. I open the slam, you in there. Hats on. I'm like, yo, this white boy, man. Right? You know, the competitive in me. Never seen you on the circuit, though. I'm just always reading about you. Like, oh, who is this dude? See you going to Syracuse. I'm like, yeah, I'm going Big East. I'm going to finally get to play against this dude. I finally seen you. I think one of y'all Oak Hill games was on national TV. I'm not sure who.
Yeah, we played St. Pat's.
And you was popping shit. I was like, oh, that's my kind of guy.
Man, we beat Derek Character them by like 45 on national television.
He was woofing, and I just liked that from afar. That's how I grew up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't like it, stop me. You know what I mean? So as much as I was trying to track you down, I was also like, I like that guy. You know what I mean? I always liked how you going about your business, man.
Hey, that's again, man. Like, I don't know how everybody grew up playing, but that was like a part of it when playing growing up. I was playing with grown men at like 9. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we was like, you know, the Y, they had the little men's league where they come in from work and play at lunch. Man, I was 8, 9 years old in there. They was letting me rock though. These dudes 45, 50 years old. You know what I'm saying? So like they like a little 9-year-old hit a shot on them. They like, motherfucker, like all that. So like that's just like, that was in me from the beginning. Like these dudes was like, that's just how the game was. So I was, if that wasn't happening, I'm like, oh, what's going on, man? Like this is too quiet in this. You know what I'm saying? Let's get going a little bit.
We ain't gonna keep going too long, but I just want to ask a few things about overseas. What was the first country you played in when you went overseas?
So when I came out, I did a little mini camp with the Lakers, and that was like the year after they won the championship. So like, all right, what you sending me here for? You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't no spot. It was a hell of an experience. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, I did the G League, and it was a D League at the time, and then I did a month there, and then I went over to New Zealand. So I went to New Zealand, and shit, my first game in New Zealand, I had like 49. My first game, and from then I'm like, all right, I like it here. It's dope here. It's a great country. You know what I'm saying? So we won the championship my first year. After that, I signed to go play in Australia. and then which now is like one of the top leagues in the world.
Sure.
And I played with Melbourne. It was Melbourne Tigers at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he
Corey
passed away.
Williams.
Rest in peace.
Yep, rest in peace, Corey. He was on my team. That was my
Wow.
teammate. You know what I'm saying? You talk about New York City. That's New
That's
York
right.
City for real. He New York City for real. The minute he started talking, you be like, okay, you from the Bronx. Yeah, you already know. But so New Zealand took me to Australia, and man, unbelievable countries, bro. Like those places to live, like you'll live there right now. You know what I'm saying? I went to New Zealand last summer and did a camp. Like those are the connections that you keep.
So you
You know what I'm
still go
saying?
back there. That's what's up.
Yep. I went back there. My man, one of my point guard who was with me out there, one of my good friends, stayed with him and his fam. Did a camp out there, rocked out. Steven Adams people out there. You know what I'm saying? So that's I played with him. He was playing with me on the younger joint. You know what I'm saying? Like he was 16. He like this skinny big. Now he like Aquaman. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the strongest dudes in the league, just moving people for no reason. You know what I'm saying? But so that was a hell of an experience. And then from there, I did Turkey. I think I did a little stint again in the D League. I was at Idaho for a little bit, and I was at Reno, which was cool. That was a cool experience. Then I went to Ukraine for 8 months, which was different. Ukraine was different, but it was a good league. Like, say it again.
What year was this? My bad. What year was it?
I want to say 2012, maybe.
Okay.
What year was you in Turkey?
Oh, shit, that was like I only went for 2 months because it was one of them things where like our season in Australia was shorter, so we still had 2 months from there. So I went and shot right there, and played in Turkey for those 2 months. But I didn't play a full season there. But I did in Ukraine. But they had a good league. That was like Malcolm Delaney and them was
That's
out there.
That's why I was asking, because I know Malcolm was over there.
He was killing Bunavelnik. That's who he played with. And Frank, my man from LA, Frank
Martin?
Nah, he from
Frank.
LA. He left-handed
I think
cat.
Frank Martin. No?
Big stronger guard, number 5. Man, he be with Scoop now all the time. I forget his man. I'm mad I don't know, but he played with Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? Left-handed dude. He from LA. They had a squad. Man, that was an experience in Ukraine, dude. Eastern Europe different. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, ain't it?
Eastern Europe different. So I was 8 months there, and then I went. Man, I had got hurt so many times. So you know that when you get hurt, it's just like you don't have one full year. You jumping, you hopping. You know what I'm saying? So I was in Israel for 3 months. Hurt my back. Had to get back surgery. Hopped to Greece for a month. Back fucked up again. Then went back to New Zealand. You know what I'm saying? And then I ended up going to New Zealand for like 3 more years and just kind of did that. And then I was like, you know what, man, I had this my girls, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I want to be able to see them grow up. Shit, they 17 and 15. If I was still rocking for real playing, I would have missed everything. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I was able to be here for their whole middle school, high school, which is a blessing. So my last year, I remember hitting Coach Boeheim and just asking him, could I hop on staff? You know what I mean? Just whatever you got for me. I just want to be home with the girls. You know what I'm saying? So he let me come on staff like a player development role for a couple years. And from there, it turned into like a real assistant job for Detroit Mercy under Mike Davis. So I did that for a year. And then after that, I just came home and I started my own stuff, you know what I mean? With the foundation and I do camps all over Northeast and individual workouts and stuff like that. And then the broadcasting came, and that's what I'm doing now. So yeah, man, 7 years overseas, hell of an experience, dude. You know, when you go every summer, I'm like, man, I wonder where I'm going now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, it was a cool experience going over and you know, all the different cultures and meeting people. It was pretty dope.
What was your favorite place to play where you was at? New Zealand or Australia?
I mean, as far as like playing or like just being there?
Overall, total playing, being there.
Probably Australia and New Zealand. You know what I mean? Because you gotta think, you know what, you only playing ball. I mean, if you over in Europe, they might do 2 a days or whatever. But in Israel and Australia, we only had 1 practice a day. You know what I'm saying? So after those 2-3 hours, I mean, you just out here. You know what I'm saying? So in Australia and New Zealand it was love. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I went back, you know what I'm saying? To be able to do camps and do all that. So those 2 countries were by far. And Israel's dope too. I wish I would have stayed a little bit longer in Israel, but I got hurt.
Where you play at in Israel?
I was in Afula. So at that time, Afula had just dropped from Division
Oh,
won.
I mean,
Yeah, and they was trying to hop back up. They was like the best Division II team trying to get back up. So that's the year I was at, and we was rocking. And then I got hurt, and then I had to leave. Who was on my team? Jeff Allen. You remember Jeff who played at Big
Virginia
Tech?
Tech.
Big
uh-huh.
fella.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Jeff, long ass arm, Jeff. Yep. So he was he's still playing, man.
Yeah, he's
It's
still
crazy.
playing. He's still playing.
He lives in Venezuela or something.
A lot of dudes from DC still playing. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. And I do this with Guy a lot. What do you feel when you look at the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, and South? Where do you feel the best basketball players come from? And don't be biased too. You know what I'm saying?
Talk to him. Talk
I
to
know-
him. Talk to him, man.
I know
Tell
you
him
love your
where it's
area,
from.
but where do you honestly feel the best players come from? Or even
I
just
mean,
from your generation? Our
So like
generation.
mentality wise, like I love Midwest. I just love Michigan, like Detroit, Chicago. Like dudes are real dogs, and like if you ever been there and played, like growing up, we had a thing like I'm not from Detroit, but I was there all the time. Like with some of my best friends there, you know what I mean. So we had a thing where like Detroit versus Chicago that we play every summer. Just like they bring their community center versus our community center, and you right in the east side, like right in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like so like that's kind of where it started with me as far as like that mentality. Because man, I'm telling you, Chicago come to Detroit, or and vice versa, Detroit go to Chicago. Everybody coming. I mean, I'm telling you, like it's a little gym, but it's packed. Dudes talking shit. They betting on the side. It's all type of shit going on. You know what I mean? So like when I'm in that atmosphere, it's like, yo, that's the funnest of all time. Like for me as a hooper, like playing in that, and I experienced it early, like the Detroit, Chicago, even Milwaukee. You know, you had some guys coming from there. So like the Midwest, the mentality, dudes was like always like playing like, man, they ain't eight. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's for real. Like that's how dudes was playing. Like you was trying to take their food from them. Like that's how I played growing up. But then I got to, travel around, and I mean, New York got obviously some of the most talented and creative dudes with the ball in their hands. Like they could just do it all. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously in New York City, it's like, if you talk about New York City and basketball, it's like it just go together. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a whole different energy and vibe. Even when I go to the city now, when you hit through that tunnel, it's like the energy totally different. You know what I'm saying? It just it take over your body. And then like West Coast, they more like finesse to me. You know what I'm saying? It's more like a finesse, laid back game like this. And I don't want to say soft because I don't want to put that label on dudes, but that's how I was kind of feeling maybe as a young boy. Like, I'm like, man, these dudes good, but they soft. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how and down south was like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Down south, they had some hoopers too, but I was always like Midwest, East Coast. That's kind of how, you know what I'm saying? And then you'd be like, oh man, LA got all these dudes, man. Look, I'm just telling you from my experience, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the biggest, it was dudes who I played against in Detroit ever got to play college basketball. But man, I'll tell you what, you come down the way, they tearing the best dude up. It's just how it go. And you know that, everybody know that from DC or New York, you got dudes like that. So like I grew up playing with those type of dudes who like, they didn't end up going to the level we got because they was into something else or whatever it was. But they was probably better than me, for real. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of like, I'm more like on a mindset type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like how what's your approach to it? Because everybody can hoop. I want that like Anthony Edwards approach. Like that's the mentality I like. Like dude going out there like, man, you can't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how everybody I play with, that's what they felt like.
All right, man. Go ahead. Oh, my bad.
So that's
Go
what's
ahead.
up, man. That's great. It's just a lot of similarities. Like I'm saying that, I tell people that all the time. It's people you'll never hear from where I'm from, but that's who shaped my game. Because they dudes was nice, but they ain't go to college. They ain't play AAU. But you come to my neighborhood, you gonna be like, nah, bro, he nice. But like he's saying, like,
Man, look, I tell you, it was so when I played AAU, man, and I was blessed enough to where you know what I'm saying, my parents made sure I was straight. Everything was, you know what I mean? Like some people's situations was totally different down the road. You know what I'm saying? Like just whatever it was, you know what I'm saying? Single mom, just it was a tough situation. Like didn't have lights in the house, all type of stuff. I remember dudes coming on trips, man, with straight trash bags. You know what I'm saying? Like trash bags full of clothes. Ain't no duffel. They ain't had no duffel bags and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like I'm saying that to say like that's kind of like the mentality I got. You know what I'm saying? Like these dudes was like, yo, look, they was just trying to get out the house and get away for a while so they ain't had to deal with shit to go hoop. You know what I'm saying? So it was way bigger than hoop. Like they was trying to go out and like just like have a little bit of fun. You know what I'm saying? And like take their mind off a lot of shit. You 14 years old, you got to deal with all this stuff that you're not supposed to be dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So like it was a lot. Dudes played like that. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes played angry. You feel what I'm saying? So that was kind of, I grew up like, you know,
I tell
playing
people,
like that, and that's kind of stuck with me throughout.
I tell people all the time, my mom passed away when I was 7 years old, and my brothers, two older brothers, the first thing they did, they went to the basketball court. I'm getting this off my head right now. I'm going to go hoop, and that's just the mentality and that's what I seen. That's the mentality that we had growing up, man.
Yeah, that's the getaway. That's the kind of the getaway. You know what I'm saying? You could just kind of like, you know what I mean? Everything else going on just kind of fade away for a little bit.
Hey, man, we appreciate you coming on and showing us some love, man. Like I said, we always want to have legends on here. You definitely a legend in our eyes, and I'm sure in Syracuse and a lot of people's eyes everywhere. 100%, man. We appreciate you coming on here and giving us this love and sharing your gems with us, man.
Man, I appreciate y'all, man. It's an honor to come on here and share the podcast, Mike, with a bunch of legends. We've been through a lot. We got a lot of similarities because this basketball world is small. We've been through a lot of the same things, situations, stories, even growing up. You know what I mean? A lot of similarities. So it's dope to be able to share that with people and talk about it. People kind of get to see like the behind the scenes a little bit and kind of what went into it and some of the stories that were a part of it. So I appreciate y'all, man. And, wishing y'all the best going forward.
Man. Good luck. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for pulling up, man.
Yep, absolutely, man. Y'all have a good one.
All right.
All right, man.